Ayan, so good evening guys. Welcome to our webinar for tonight. Our topic is base smart contracts for Python developers using Viper. And with this topic, there's a lot of layer 2s out there already. Dami na nila mga nagsulputan, and we have another layer 2 called base. And about Viper, there's a challenge when we want to enter the space of making Web3 programs, writing smart contracts. And we're not going to dive into Viper comprehensively. I just want to take you into a tour of Viper to appreciate it and to have a quick start of the programming language, because malay nyo, after this topic, you will be interested writing smart contracts using Viper. Okay, let me just introduce myself first before proceeding to our agenda. So, yep, I'm Mark Jerome. You can call me Jerome, and I am a blockchain researcher at DOST ASTI. So, what we are doing there is not really into cryptocurrencies, but we are working more on decentralized IDs. Ating mga like the Solana ID. So, we're conducting research on things like that. And also, I'm a mentor at the Block. So uh, I teach Solana, but right now I'm going to try. I'm going to try to be teaching more on Viper. So I just explored this language a week ago. So let's see. And at the same time, before being a blockchain developer, I was a Python developer. So I built web applications, specifically using the Django framework and Django REST framework. So ranging from e-commerce applications, insurance systems, booking systems, job booking systems, and work booking systems. And right now, there's still ongoing projects that I'm doing in Python, like electronic health record system as a freelance Python developer. So if you have a project, you can just ping me. And then our agenda for tonight regarding our topic, developing smart contracts, base smart contracts using Viper. We are going to talk about, of course, base and Viper. But specifically, ang pag-uusapan natin sa Viper is that, ano nga ba ito? So, is this yet another L2? Ang dami ng L2 sa space, sa blockchain space, sa crypto industry. Ang dami na. So, is this yet another L2? Let's see. And as well as the ecosystem sa base. Kaano na nga ba siya kalawak? Marami na bang applications? Or maybe sa inyo, mga galing dito, ang susunod na mai-post sa website ng Base Ecosystem dahil nanalo ang isang hackathon project made in Base, right? And then, we'll talk about grants, builder grants. How much ang kayang ibigay ni Base when it comes to development, building projects. And I heard that they're very generous, I think, based on their articles that they posted. And the next, Viper, I'll take you on a tour, not comprehensively, and I'll share my first
91.
I'll
GG
share
sir.
first impressions regarding the
91.
Viper language. And then secondly, we'll look into setting up developer environment of Viper until compilation, deployment, and we'll see applications. Meron na bang gumagamit ng Viper? And getting started, what should you build in Viper? And mamaya, meron din tayong quick demo using Viper, but we'll just see some example smart contracts. And then, yeah, let's proceed with Base. So Base, before we can proceed explaining the Base blockchain, I want to explain it in a way na hindi siya nasa business perspective or economics or finance perspective, more on a technological level, because we can better understand base if we understand the layer ones, Ethereum. So Ethereum, it's a layer one blockchain by Vitalik Buterin, and it is the pioneer blockchain when it comes to providing platform in writing smart contracts, allowing people to deploy their applications as a decentralized application. That's why meron tayong mga lending, crypto lending ngayon, mga Axie Infinity, because of Ethereum, because of this platform na smart contracts. And years after the release of Ethereum, ang nangyari, Vitalik Buterin came to realization, no? And he published an article that introduced the concept of trilemma. And anong trilemma? Ito yung decentralization, scalability, and security. At ano ang sinasabi ng trilemma? Is that it states that these three cannot be achieved optimally na at the same time. It's nearly impossible that you can excel in decentralization, scalability, and security at the same time. Maaring yung decentralization, mag-excel ka sa decentralization and security, pero may trade-off siya sa scalability ng blockchain. Kaya, dahil dito, yung Ethereum, merong mga scalability issues. For example, ano ba yun? Mahal ang gas fee ng Ethereum. Medyo may pagkamabagal yung network compared sa other blockchains. And if the waiting time sa pag-withdraw, medyo may pagkamabagal din. And other issues, hindi ko na siya isa-isahin, but scalability issues do exist. So, anong solution dito? So, researchers, engineers, they introduce solutions. Kaya, nagkaroon tayo ng mga L2 scaling solutions. Kaya, meron tayong tinatawag na L2, Layer 2 blockchains. We have some strategies when it comes to Layer 2 scaling solutions. We have the side chains, mga roll-ups na tinatawag natin. Kaya, pag makakakita ka ng mga new blockchains, they often include those terms, roll-up, sidechain. Ano pa ba yung mga other scaling solutions? State channels, like that. And these layer 2 solutions, they include cheaper fees, mga faster transactions, by leveraging some advanced cryptographic techniques. And, you know, as a result, there's a lot of layer 2 blockchains that emerged. So, again, Base is another layer 2 solution. But, paano nga ba siya nagiging kakaiba? Is it yet another layer 2 that will improve the problems of scalability issues? Well, si Base, it's different. Since Base is a blockchain incubated within Coinbase. Ibig sabihin, Coinbase is a big company in the United States. It's a exchange platform. So, dun pa lang, it tells something about the blockchain. And this blockchain plays a pivotal role in Coinbase mission. And a mission in Coinbase is to create an open financial system that increases global economic freedom. Well, it's just good to know their mission, but what in that mission, their goal is to onboard 1 billion users on chain. So that's why meron si Base. And from a technological standpoint, if you're familiar with the OP stack, optimism stack, Base is built on OP stack. These are just things that are good to know. And features of the blockchain, a blockchain by Coinbase. This blockchain provides a builder-friendly experience with low-cost transactions. So, ito, solution na naman to sa mga scalability problems and fast finality, approximately 1 second per transaction. And another fact, technical level, is that the testnet of Base launched last February 2023. So, hindi siya ganoong ka-old na blockchain. Its mainnet also launched last July 2023. So, that's Base. It's a layer 2 solution, primarily motivated, not really into solving the scalability of Ethereum. It's just a part of it, but it's really motivated to advance the mission of Coinbase to onboard 1 billion users on chain. So that's why they are very friendly to builders like you guys, like us. They want to onboard builders, and they give a lot of grants. So looking at the Base ecosystem, so the Base ecosystem, it ranges from wallets, consumer apps, meron din infrastructure tools dyan. Ayan. So DeFi applications as well as gaming and social applications. So I think meron din yung mga applications na for asset management. I'm not sure if meron na ding mga ibang tools like the tools that we encounter in other blockchains such as Solana. And yeah, I think Base blockchain has seen rapid adoption already. Kasi when you check their website, in the ecosystem section, there are numerous decentralized applications deployed across different categories. Yep. So additionally, when we talk about ecosystem, of course, there's a way to motivate builders to join the ecosystem, and that is through grants. And Base generously gives 1 ETH up to 5 ETH. So approximately ano yun? I think at the time of this presentation, during the preparation, I think the price is 160k up to 500 or 800k if I'm not mistaken, pesos. And with that range, that amount, it's a big amount for onboarding users. So kung meron man magiging excited, I think dapat kayo yon. Yeah, you guys that participated in here, because one of you in here might be able to secure that grant and build a startup, But here's the thing, there's an opportunity. They give a lot of grants. However, the challenge right now, based on my observation, teaching people Web3 and blockchain development, the challenge is that sometimes it is very hard to onboard Web2 developers into Web3. Why? Because the tools, the languages that you use in building smart contracts have a steep learning curve. For example, kapag magtuturo ka ng isang blockchain, the tool that you are going to use is Rust. And Rust is a language that is difficult to learn, to be honest. And even me, I had a hard time writing smart contracts in Rust. It took me maybe weeks to get a grasp of the language. There's also other languages such as Go, because they're more dedicated into distributed system development and backend development. So that's why napapaboran siya when it comes to blockchain development. But what if there's a way, to be onboarded easily in a language that is very easy to understand, and it is Pythonic, yeah. So that's why in this presentation, we are going to use Viper. I'm going to take you into a Viper tour. Not comprehensively, gusto ko lang siyang ipasilip so that you can appreciate the language. So, let's start looking at Viper. So when it comes to smart contract development, Viper is a language worth considering. So, unang-una, one fact to establish is that hindi siya yung ibang languages na we can say that object-oriented programming. So, that's why when I tried this language, I was confused when I first tried it because naka-ingrain sa isip ko na OOP, OOP. But Viper has a different paradigm. It's called contract-oriented. And syntax-wise, it's Pythonic. It's a Pythonic programming languages designed for writing secure and auditable smart contracts. So nandito, it is a contract-oriented Pythonic programming language designed for writing secure and auditable smart contracts that run on the Ethereum virtual machine. And I want to share my first impressions and show some examples how Pythonic Viper is and how can you grasp the language easily without that much steep learning curve. All right? So first impressions, as a Python developer, it felt very familiar from the start. And it's easier to grasp than Solidity. And yeah, for those coming from a Python background, I think you're going to appreciate it. And if you're not familiar with Python, in my opinion, it would still be easy to transition yourself becoming a Viper developer. And when it comes to the contract structure, it's somewhat similar with Solidity. And the method definitions and imports, it's very Pythonic. So let's proceed. So it's more easier to grasp than Solidity if you come from a Python background. And ito na pala, the contract structure is similar with Solidity, starting with the compiler version declaration. All right. So let's see some examples regarding this programming language, this contract-oriented language that is used to write smart contracts in the Ethereum virtual machine. Okay, starting with the import modules. Yep, ayan, exacto and toto. When you import modules in Python, it follows the same pattern as Viper. You import module, import foo, import A, import B, from X, import Y, import A.B, similar sila. They're the same. And then, next example. So that's for the import. The function definitions look quite alike. Ayan. In Python, you use the keyword def in order to write functions, followed by the function name, and then open and close parenthesis, colon, pass. And pass is also being used in Viper. So, pwede ka rin din maglagay sa Viper. And medyo hindi lang sila exactly the same. Kasi Viper, like Solidity, gumagamit siya ng decorator, external. Meron dyan mga choices like, I'm sure Solidity devs will understand this, like external, internal, pure view. And this decorator, I think you're familiar with it, that it modifies the logic or data of the function. Ayan, kapag sinabing external, you're allowed to call this function, this RPC or remote procedure call, using a client. And then when it comes to, let's see what's next. Expressions, statements, operations, and control structures. Ayan. Like Python, the same lang sila. And as well as even other programming languages naman, ganyan din. But the explanation, double asterisk, ayan. I think it's a significant thing to show also. Let's see other examples. Ayan, the range keyword is also used in Viper, like Python. So when you look, you use the keyword range, and inside range, nandyan yung start, and then yung stop. So you're going to start from 1 to 9. You're going to stop at 10. But pansinin ninyo, si Viper, meron siyang declaration or defining what kind of data yung I. So unsigned integer 256, it just means that it is a positive number. So ayan. So if we are going to observe this example, not they're similar in a way sa syntax. However, meron ding significant difference. And that is the type definitions. Because in Viper, it is statically typed. Statically typed meaning kailangan mong sabihin kung anong type niya. Is it a boolean? Is it an unsigned integer, assigned integer, a constant?
Wait lang.
Mga ganong scenarios. And then, yep, it's similar with Python, and at the same time, it's similar with Solidity. So Viper also shares several similarities with Solidity. Ayan, na-discuss ko yan kanina. The decorator's external view payable, you can encounter that in the Solidity language. State variables like bool and address. Yung address refers to your address, like your wallet address. And compiler version declaration. Meron diyang, okay, let's look at it later. You are declaring the contract structure, you're going to declare the compiler version sa taas. Pragma version, blah, blah, blah. And storage and memory management. And next, this is a thing that I was so curious about. Since Viper is Pythonic, is it going to be indentation sensitive like Python? And I tried compiling the written contract without any tabs or 4 spaces. And it returned an error saying it must be indented. So yes, it's indentation sensitive like Python. And then going back, yung examples natin kanina, one significant difference is that Viper is statically typed, whereas Python is dynamically typed. So this means variables must have explicit types in Viper. So dynamic, is it called dynamic typing? Walk like a duck, swim like a duck, quack like a duck, and it's a duck. So, and static, you need to declare kung anong kind of variable yung gagamitin mo. Is it a constant? Is it a bool? Is it an unsigned integer? And as for the data types, I will not share the kind of data types that Viper provides. You can just visit the documentation later on. I will share a link. And then, okay, so that's the first impressions. There are things na similar si Python tsaka si Viper. And then meron din siyang differences. And when you want to code in Viper, of course, the first thing that you need to do is to set up your developer environment. So, for quick demo, I will use Remix. However, for context, for some knowledge, I will share how to develop environment. But dito lang sa dito lang sa slide. I will not demonstrate it anymore hands-on. Ayan, so you can use it via pip. I mean, you can set up it via pip. So pip install Viper. And you can, of course, you can use a virtual environment like you do in Python, like you do in normal applications in Python. So pip install Viper. You can also set up development environment via Docker. So Docker pool, Viper lang, Viper. If you're familiar with Docker, once this container is running, you can just attach your shell into this container, and then pag meron kang nasulat na Viper code, you can just compile it via Viper command. Viper and the contract file. And then, so that's this environment. And compiling, you use the keyword Viper and then the name of the file, your file name, that vy or that vi. And when it comes to deployment, you can take, so once meron ka na nito, once you compiled, it returns some bytecode. And you take the bytecode generated by the Viper compiler and use that and deploy it through these tools. Or you can use their tool, Titano BOA deployment tool. Ayan. However, so demonstrating all these tools, all these approaches will take a lot of time. We cannot demonstrate how we set up our environment now, or we can compile or deploy. So that's why I'm just going to demonstrate for a little bit, just to have a tour, in using Remix. Ayan. But the prerequisites ay dapat meron na tayong wallet. You can use a wallet that is compatible with the base chain. So right now, ang gagamitin ko is MetaMask. This is a testnet. So I'm not sure if you can, my wallet is visible. So maybe you can comment yes, or you can just give a thumbs up. But ito siya. So in here, ayan, visible naman. Sa mainnet natin, nandito si base. So you can choose this option if you want to switch into the base network. But for me, ang ginawa ko, I added a custom network so that I will be able to use base testnet. And if you are curious, you're going to add it as a custom network. You add the name base network Sepolia, and then you Google base Sepolia testnet, and there will be details like the RPC URL, chain ID, and these other details. So once you completed that, magagamit mo na si base Sepolia testnet. So that is the wallet. And testnet token, meron silang pinoprovide na faucet, but it's very limited. I think around $200 to $300 lang yung nakuha ko in USD, not in ETH. Let's go to Remix. In the Remix IDE, before you can code with base, you need to install some plugins. Ayan. You search Viper and then activate that plugin. And then, yep, so that's the plugin. What else? Let's see here. Yep, you create a file here, the name, and make sure the extension is .vi. And in this IDE, if
Sorry,
you're familiar...
Jerome, pa-zoom ako konti.
Ay, sorry.
Pa-zoom ako konti. Thanks.
Ayan. Ayan, so ulitin ko, nandito yung plugin, you search Viper, and then you activate the compiler. The compiler will be here. There's a button to compile your code. And dito sa File Explorer, you create the file with your name and make sure the extension is .vy. So dito sa deploy and run transactions, it's very compatible to deploy here. And one prerequisite pa, wait lang, let me check. So base network in wallet. So dito, the default selected network would be, I think, mga Remix na testnet. And then you will have some accounts dito na meron ng ETH. So, and still loading, pati na rin hinintayin. We want to use base network, the testnet. Yun yung gagamitin natin network that we're going to deploy our smart contract. What we're going to do is to click customize this list, and then you'll turn on injected provider MetaMask. and it will automatically detect that your MetaMask is using base test network. And here's my account. Okay, let's have a quick tour of our contract. So this contract, we have defined two functions, init function and hello function. So init function is called upon deployment. May mga compilers with a higher version that supports other decorators such as deploy. Ibig sabihin, this function will only be called after deployment, and that's it. But right now, okay, let's just use external. This initializes our variable with the value hello. And we defined our state variable message. Ang type niya is string with a length of 32. And event, if you're familiar with events in Ethereum, you know, I think when you emit an event, I forgot the keyword in Solidity. So in Viper, you log the message event. So this is a simple hello world in Viper. And then this is the contract structure. You need to first define your compiler version dito. And then, okay, let's compile. So this is the compile. Compile hello world. And then check mark, that means it's all good. And then deploy hello world. So make sure meron kang enough is deploy. So creation of hello world pending. Ayan. Let's just wait for, and transaction is successful. And then when we interact with their contract with hello, so it's just querying data, but there's already a fee. And if you're interested in solving that problem without a fee, maybe you can copy this code and solve it. It's possible. And here's the log message, hello. And another example, the airdrop. So what this contract, let me check, wait lang. Okay, ang ginagawa ng contract na ito is that it allows you to claim some tokens. It acts like a faucet. So, eto, kapag naka-receive ka na ng token, itong sinasabi niya, hindi ka na pwedeng kumuha pa. And then, pag okay naman, you're going to be recorded in the list. And it's a dictionary recipients. And then this will transfer some tokens in our wallet. Okay, let's try to deploy this one. Okay, let's fund this smart contract. Mga approximate 11 USD to. Ang bibigay niya lang is approximately 3 USD. Deploy. Pending. Ayan, confirmed. So, okay, ito yung airdrop contract. So, if you check get faucet balance, it should be starting with 4 and 4. And if you claim token, dapat mababawasan to. It's pending. Okay. Claiming, all right, it's green, successful. And if you get faucet balance, we assume that, okay, nabawasan na. So that's our quick demo, just to have the look and feel of Viper. And if you're going to compare that with the other languages, such as the Ink framework of Polkadot, it's complex. There's a steep learning curve. You need to familiarize yourself with this syntax. And this is Solidity. Okay, let's go back. So that's the quick demonstration. Now, meron na bang gumagamit nito? This tool. Are there any successful projects out there that utilizes Viper? Of course, meron. At ito sila, si Curve Finance, si Yearn Finance, it's Lido or Lido Finance. Mga big projects that is deployed sa main net. Ayan. And I hope with this impression or demonstration of Viper, you are convinced na to be onboarded in Base, developing smart contracts using Viper. No? Sa meme na to, no? So, isang Web2 developer sa Viper developer. You should switch to Viper, bro. Ayan. And then, if you want to start building Web3 applications using Viper, these are some of the ideas. Of course, the very basic one is a calculator, just to familiarize yourself with the syntax and adding some variables. You can do some simple to-do list contract, a basic token faucet, or small NFT minting contract. So that's Viper, and that's Base. For conclusion, we talk about Base. It's a layer 2 blockchain na not only aims to improve the scientific or technical problems of Ethereum, it aims to onboard 1 billion users on-chain. And I believe that one of you guys listening right now will be a part of it, will be a builder, and will be able to receive 1 to 5 ETH of grant. And we talk about Viper. This is a very Pythonic language. It's very similar with Python. But also, meron mga significant differences. And also, meron inspired with Solidity on how you write smart contracts. And if you're interested, still, there are resources out there for the reading. Of course, una yung documentation, yung official documentation ng Base. And yung blog ng Base, it's also important. Meron doon mga announcement. Again, as blockchain adoption grows, so as the demand for secure and efficient smart contracts. So whether you are a seasoned developer already in blockchain or you're a complete beginner, I think learning Viper and experimenting with Base is an opportunity worth exploring, especially with the grants. And thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at Jerome Talali. It's my first time plugging my socials. Maybe because I will magpapaka-influencer season na tayo, or just tweet some small Base or Viper content. And thank you for listening. I'll give the floor to the host.